Hey everyone, this is Mike, and if you dropped by the stream last night, you'll have noticed I was playing Gunbreaker again, and it's definitely not going to be a one-off thing either if you were wondering that. So basically the thing about my static is that it's a relatively open static, so to speak. If there is content that my static wants to do, they'll ask who wants to join, and if people don't want to join for it, they don't have to, because we have a bunch of other friends in our Discord that either have raided with us in the past or that are friends of raid members and that kind of stuff. And basically, when somebody doesn't want to join for a specific piece of content, we always swap them out for one of our friends. For example, when Marstatic was doing Ultima Weapon, I didn't want to join for that as I was doing other stuff. And they basically said, that's fine, we'll just take somebody else in instead. And then they went on their way when it comes down to, for example, what I am doing with the static at the moment, which is Alexander Ultimate, weeklies, and then optimization for our current Savage as well. We have different people for all three of those depending on who wanted to join and who not. And a few days ago my raid leader approached me and asked me whether or not I wanted to play tank, as our warrior was going to be dropping out for optimization, and I said yes, I definitely want to do so. The original plan was to play black mage, which I kinda like. It's a little bit unfortunate that I'm not going to get to play Black Mage and optimize it the way I wanted to do so, but on the other hand, I'm definitely not going to pass up the opportunity to play Gunbreaker again. As I've mentioned many times before on this channel, Gunbreaker is my favorite job in the game. It is also my favorite role to play tank, and since it's the warrior that dropped out, I also get the main tank again, which is basically my favorite thing to do in this game, so I'm really happy that I get to do it again as well. Now, together with that, with all the optimization and that kind of stuff, I think it is basically the best time for me to return to tanking as well, as I am gonna have to learn how to basically get used to all of these new mechanics as a tank player, because of course I've always played ranged, a caster, and now I'm all of a sudden gonna have to do all of the mechanics as a melee, meaning that I need to know where I can like safely greed uptime and that kind of stuff, like for example with the knockback, or no, not the knockback mirrors, but like the first mirrors that you see on Shiva, like that first mechanic. How many GCDs can I get before I have to run away? Can I keep full uptime in between GCDs and that kind of stuff with the boss coming to me? Those are all things that I kind of had to figure out. And of course, since with optimization you're basically trying out a bunch of different strats to see whether or not things work out better than what you previously had. And a lot of wipes will happen. We spent about 3 hours last night on Shiva. We got about the first phase done to what we wanted it to get, basically. And the pull that you're seeing is our first pull that we got in, I believe. Of course, I didn't know exactly how to do the, what's it called again, Ice Dragon Song as a tank, so I wiped the group at that point. But I'm not quite sure if you get to see that, because I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. But yeah, basically I'm gonna have to get used to all of the mechanics as a tank, and then since we are changing a bunch of mechanics, other people will wipe the group plenty of times as well, so it's basically the perfect time for me to switch back into playing tank. I was planning on doing it before in Party Finder once I was done getting my tank best in slot. It's still not best in slot, but I think I only need like 2 upgrade materials for my accessories, and then that's pretty much it. So now playing it for optimization, I was like, sure, why not? Might as well get that done, and then hopefully I can get some good runs in as well. Now when it comes down to weeklies, I am also going to be switching over to playing Gunbreaker because our warrior also dropped from those. So I'm going to be getting a whole lot more tanking into this tier, which is something that I've been wanting to do for so very long. Now if you're wondering what the strats are that we are using in Shiva, if you want to like adapt them or something like that, when it comes down to Diamond Dust, I have no idea what strat that is. Basically just look up melee uptime, Diamond Dust strat or something like that. We basically put all of our AoEs in the back, and then we all move towards the front, and then we use our arm's length there, and then our healer does still go all the way to the back for her flare, or like their flare marker. So that's how we do that one. And then when it comes down to Light Rampant, we are using the Ayatori strat, I believe it is called. Now, of course, one thing I do want to mention is that highly optimized strats for melee uptime and that kind of stuff are not necessarily the most consistent and safe strats when it comes down to Party Finder. Some people asked it me last night as well, whether or not I found this strat to be better than the Ilya strat, as people are calling it. And I think yes, if you want to do optimized fights, of course, because the Ilya strat is incredibly shit when it comes down to melee uptime. It's really bad for that. On the other hand, it does make the mechanic incredibly easy for 4 people. The people with chain don't even have to think about what they're doing, they just stand on their marker and that's it. but then the people with the orbs do need to move around a little bit more, but still there's not a lot of thinking that needs to happen when you do that strat. When you do the Ilya strat, it's a really consistent and easy strategy to execute. With Ayatori you need to think a whole lot more, and it's a little bit riskier as well with the orbs if you are trying to keep that melee uptime, but on the other hand I think it's a much better strat if you want to keep that melee uptime, because it's almost impossible with the Ilya strat. So that's why basically optimized strategies are going to be a lot better if you basically have all been able to practice it, whereas something like the PF strats are usually a lot safer to execute, and that is usually what PF strives for. It's just there to clear. You necessarily, or you don't always think about basically getting that super high parts in a Party Finder environment, or at least that's not what I go into Party Finder for. I go into Party Finder to just clear the fights. I don't really care about my parts all that much. I usually play a lot safer in Party Finder as well, just to get the clear. Play it safe, get the clear. It's kind of my motto when I go into Party Finder. So that's kind of like what the difference is in between them. Of course, me and my static are going to be trying out a bunch of different strategies to optimize the fights so that we can get more melee uptime, so that our casters don't have to move and that kind of stuff. So over the next few weeks, you'll probably see some of those POVs appear as well. We're almost done with Shiva. We still want to try a couple of things in the second phase, and then of course we just have to get used to it, because Shiva is a little bit of a coin flip. Are you gonna get chain, or are you gonna get orb? It could be that out of 20 pulls you get 18 chains or something like that, and then when you get the orb, unlike the 1 or 2 pulls that it does happen, you might not exactly know the timings of things and that kind of stuff. So there's still a lot of things that we have to get used to basically before we can finally call Shiva a day, so to speak. But we're going to be optimizing the fights over the next few weeks. For now, our schedule, so to speak, is weeklies on Tuesday, then we do optimization on Friday, and then we have ultimate on Sunday. And then once we're done with ultimate, because I think we need 3 more kills or something like that, we're going to take an extra day on Sunday for optimization as well. So basically, the faster we're done with ultimate, the faster we can get into actually grinding out the fights for optimization as well. And then you'll see some POVs of that appear on the channel too. I was thinking of maybe uploading the POVs of my Gunbreaker clears for weeklies on Tuesday. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that, because of course I don't know how well it is going to go. As I said, I still need to learn to get used to all of the mechanics. Some fights will be easier than others, of course, but it's going to be taking some time for me to get used to it. And since we don't care about how scuffed our runs are going to be for weeklies, I'm not quite sure if I want to just upload a run where everybody died 15 times or something like that. And that's probably not even an exaggeration, because we can you can basically pull things back from quite the dire situations until getting things going again. So not quite sure if I'm going to be using a lot of POVs from our weeklies. I'll still be recording them. If I don't record them, I can still just pull them from the stream like I did with the gameplay that you're seeing in the background. So hopefully the quality won't be too bad, because of course it does take a little bit of a hit when you download stuff from Twitch rather than just recording it straight to your PC. But hopefully I won't really be doing that all that much, and I'll just be recording instead. But when it comes down to our optimization runs, and once we are done with those and we get a clean run with all of the optimized strategies and the kind of stuff, then I'll definitely be posting those on the YouTube channel as well, so you guys can have a look at that, what I do for uptime on a tank, specific strategies that we use, how we use our cooldowns and the kind of stuff. If you're interested in those kind of things, because a lot of people were asking where are the tank POVs. I've been talking about it for quite a while, that I wanted to go play tank again. I was planning on waiting until I was best in slot and then do it in Party Finder. But yeah, I know a lot of people have basically been asking for it whenever I was uploading all of the other POVs like Red Mage, Summoner, and then eventually Black Mage, where are the tank POVs, when are you going to do them? And basically, hopefully in the next few days/weeks, you'll be seeing them appear slowly over time. Of course, it kind of depends on how much time that we still need to spend on Alexander Ultimate. If, for example, we go in tomorrow, because I think we're going tomorrow, and we kill it 3 times, then we're done, and then we can spend the rest of our time on just optimizing the fights. Whereas if we don't get a kill, or we only get 1 or something like that, then of course we will need to spend an extra week or 2 on clearing Alexander Ultimate, which we then cannot spend on optimizing the fights. I'm not quite sure if we're going to be optimizing a whole lot of things, we're going to be changing some small things here or there. I think Shiva was the biggest fight that people were wanting to change some stuff, especially Diamond Dust and Light Rampant as well, because of course the Ilya thread is really bad for melee uptime, so that's something that people really wanted to do. But when it comes down to some other things in the fights, I don't think there's going to be all that much changes, or all that many changes that are going to be happening from what we are used to doing. Of course, I still have to get used to playing tank. Our Black Mage used to tank this tier, so he has to get used to playing Black Mage. Our Summoner hasn't played in 2 months or something like that. when it comes down to playing Savage. So of course people will have to still get used to it. Maybe changing some strategies here or there will take some time to get used to as well. But basically those are kind of like the things that we are going to be doing in the next few weeks. If you drop in on the stream, you can expect to see me play Gunbreaker a whole lot more. Still gonna play Summoner for Alexander Ultimate until we're done with that. Kind of wanted to play Red Mage as well, but on the other hand, I've cleared on Summoner a few times now, so I kind of know what I'm doing. So I don't really want to like int the group just because I want to play something else. But yeah, that's kind of what you can expect on the Twitch side of things. More Gunbreaker, more POVs of that hopefully in the future as well on YouTube. And we'll see where we go from there basically. So I'm definitely not going to be quitting the game just yet because there's a little bit of content drought leading up to 5.3. Might also be making a couple of other videos soon as well. Still thinking of what I should make for Final Fantasy because I kind of missed it. Like I've been doing a lot of videos and other stuff, and Final Fantasy is kind of on the back burner when it comes down to YouTube, although I am still playing it a fair amount. Like for example, I've been doing a lot of PF traps as well after we're done with Raid to like basically keep the Twitch stream going a little bit longer as well, because I don't want to just be Raid for an hour or something like that for weeklies and then call it a day. I still want to like stream a little bit longer than just an hour so that more people can catch it as well, because I've been having a lot of fun just hanging out with people in chat and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for today's video. Those are basically the things you can expect. More Gunbreaker on Twitch and YouTube, hopefully as well once we are done with optimization. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be that. So I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for supporting me, and I'll see you in the next one.